What is up, y'all? Not here to waste your time, and sorry about the delay. I just got caught up with some drops, some other things, and I was actually down in Miami with some Magic players, getting a bunch of content and stuff like that, so that was pretty fun. Not gonna name drop or anything like that, but I am in Central Florida, and I do reach out to players and stuff and whatnot to offer content, because that's actually what my main gig always was before all this. So either way, not what you're here for, not what you care about, but a little update, I guess, on, what I was doing. Either way, we're actually gonna be trying a new format for the content today, so I'm gonna give you guys everything right off the rip. I'm gonna give you the build, I'm gonna give you the SIGS, and I'm gonna give you the jump shot. But rather than go through the builder top to bottom, because we've been through builder secrets, we're later in the year, we understand badges a bit more, and if we don't, or if you're new here, hop back and go check out, the builder secrets videos or anything like that. If you haven't seen them, I'll link them here. By now, everyone should kind of understand what's going on. So I honestly always get so many clips and have so much content that I don't get to show you guys. Like, for instance, just in defense alone, I have 41 clips. In three-pointers alone, I have 21 clips. In dunks, I have 46 clips. In passing and playmaking, I have 46 clips. So I always have all of these clips and I don't get to show them that much. So what we're gonna do here is, like I said, I'm gonna give you everything right off the rip here in a second, right when I'm done talking, just give me a minute. Then I'm going to show you guys a lot more gameplay, a lot more clips, a lot more of the build actually being used, and I'm just going to be talking over that. Now, I'll probably leave the camera up because I don't really like doing just voiceover to where you guys can't see me. I like to be able to have some type of connection with you guys in some type of way. So where the camera will be on the screen, I'm not sure. Maybe it'll be there sometimes, maybe not other times, but we're gonna try a new format. So please comment below and let me know what you guys think. I should be able to give you guys just as much, if not even more information, but with a lot more visual representation of it, rather than me just talking and us just looking at the builder by itself. So if you guys like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. But I think that this new style of format, or trying this new way, we'll definitely be able to utilize sometimes, maybe not all the time, and that it'll be beneficial for all of us. So other than that, everything you guys need is linked down below. We've got Twitter, TikTok, Discord, Instagram, and my clothing brand if you guys care. Not here to push it. It doesn't necessarily go with 2K or probably what you guys are into, but we do have a clothing brand, two of them actually. This is one of them, but if you guys want to check it out, the links are below. Other than that, let me go ahead and say the things you guys don't care to hear, and I hate hearing it every time I watch a video too, but a like, a comment, a sub, any of it, none of it, but it would mean a lot to me. It would mean a lot to the channel, and it helps us grow. It helps the community. So if you could, I would appreciate it, but you don't have to. So this is the build that you guys are seeing on the screen now. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and also I'm gonna throw the jump shot up. So that should be up right now. And I'm also going to go ahead and throw the SIGS up there here. So if you guys wanna pause the video, go back, pause it, look at those, you totally can. Now that jump shot, as well as some other jump shots, is in my small guards jump shot video that's on the channel. So if you want some more detail about it and whatnot, you can check it out. But I run that Allen Iverson jumper just because for me, transitioning from a T-Mac jumper to a small guard where you can't run T-Mac, Allen Iverson, for me, out of all the ones I went through, is the closest to a T-Mac base. It's got that high release, and I like to say it kind of has a hitch in it. At the top, it's kind of like when you're holding the button, I don't go off of a visual cue or anything. I go off a feel, and all I can really say to explain it is that it's got like this little hitch in it, and I like that. This kind of like lag to it at the top, where it's kind of like a hold release rather than like a fluid. Like Ben Shepherd is very like all one motion. I like to say the T-Mac, at least for me, the way I see it, is like it's kind of got this hitch in it, and I feel like Allen Iverson also has that. It's still very fast, but it's a feeling thing. So that's why I run the Allen Iverson jumper. I'm very green with it. I do enjoy it a lot. I actually was running the Patty one on my Kyrie build, but for some reason on this Donovan Mitchell build, maybe just because the arms are longer, and that does have an effect, having different arm lengths and being different heights. I'm an inch shorter, but my arms are much longer on this Donovan Mitchell build. I was running my same Patty Mills jumper, and I just couldn't hit with it. So I just swapped to my other one, and that's something that I do and we talk about here. But if I can't hit with the jumper on one build, I've got like 3 or 4 that I kind of rotate, and I'm usually able to hit with one of them consistently on whatever build it is that I make. So if for some reason I'm just not hitting with the one that I'm typically using on all of my builds or on most of my builds, then I just switch it to one of my other ones and I see, or I just try and change the blend of the one that I'm using, because it might be the exact same jumper, but again, if you change your height or your arm, your wingspan, it's not gonna be the same. Even if it shows the same, even if the grades are the same, whatever it is, it's not actually the same, at least not for me in my experience. So I'll blend it a little different, or I'll just swap to a different jumper altogether. Other than that, the SIGs are up here. I run these SIGs just because they're the SIGs that I like. When I go with SIGs, I try to just combo them with what I think what blends well together. I don't know how to left stick cancel or LT cancel or anything like that. I'm not like a standstill dribbler, I guess you would say. I'm really not good at dribbling per se at all, I don't think. But who knows? Maybe you guys think I'm good at it. I don't know. But I like to go more off of combo moves and kind of blending the moves together to where, like, you know, if I hold right trigger and I flick the stick up, I'm getting like 3 or 4 motions, you know, of a movement that are just programmed, so to speak. The game's doing it itself, and then I'll do another move like a snatch back in that blend, or a behind the back in that blend or something, and I kind of just like pair my combo moves with my aggressive breakdown, with my regular breakdown, with my step back, and I let those blend together. So when I'm looking for moves in SIGS like you guys are looking at here, I just choose them based off of literally looking at them and then going and trying them, you know, in the shoot around, art of shooting, or the Gatorade facility, and just seeing what I feel for me and my play style, what blends well together with how I, you know, dribble, and I just go with that. But these are the ones I'm running, and these are the ones that you'll see in the video and whatnot, but this is what I'm running, and these are the SIGS. Now we'll get into the build. So starting from the top with the 85 layup. Now right off the rip, you're looking at this build, right? We've got the 85 layup, 94 driving dunk, 45 standing dunk, 75 post control, 90 mid-range, 86 3, 93 free throw, so on, right? We've got the rest of the build. We'll go through it, but you don't have to go with the 85 layup on this build, and that's where we're gonna start. Now, close shot, we never invest into. I'm on a small guard. I'm not investing in a close shot. That is just there by default. That's typically how it is on all of my builds. Obviously, unless you're looking at a big man, then close shot is probably invested into intentionally, but not on these. So close shot, we're skipping past that. We're getting right into the layup. 85 driving layup, you don't have to have that on this build. Now, I specifically went to 85 to get the Trae Young layup package, which is a great layup package. But in my experience, having high dunk on a build tends to get you dunk animations. Even if you're going for a layup, you tend to get that dunk animation. So I gave this build the 85 driving layup just because we made a Donovan Mitchell build, and Donovan Mitchell has a great layup package, like in real life. You know, he's scoring very effective and efficiently at the rim with layups as well as dunks. But in this game and in the way that the game itself plays, you don't have to have high layup in order to be able to finish with layup. Default small layup package is very good, and I've said that in a lot of my videos and showed proof of it in a lot of my videos. So you can just run with that. And I would say save the points. Don't go to the 85 driving layup, because even at times when I'm going for a layup, let's say I know I'm not gonna get a meter, or I don't think I'm gonna get a dunk, and I'm trying to get a euro or something like that. In my experience, I still tend to get those dunk animations even when I'm not trying to, just because the dunk is so high. And that's kind of in any way. I've got a build that has 55 driving dunk with like an 81 layup. And it's the opposite. It's a 6'9" too, but every time, like even when I try to get dunks on that build, it's my Jovic build that's on the channel. If you guys want to check that one out, then you can. But even when I try to get dunks on that build, very often I'll get layup animations. And I don't know if that's just my experience, or maybe I'm just doing something wrong. But in my experience, like if I have very high layup, it's harder for me to get a dunk animation. And if I have high dunk, it's a little bit harder for me to get a layup animation. Even with that aside, if that wasn't the case, I would say don't go 85 driving layup on this build, not because it's not effective, not because it's not efficient, but me, with my play style at least, the default small layup package is all I need. So if you max dunk out, you're probably getting your layup around 74-ish, and that's you get default small like 50 or 20 or some, like you're gonna have it pretty much regardless. So I would run that, and if anything, you could go to 80 driving layup just to get the Jimmy Butler package if you really utilize floaters and you wanna add that to your game. That's probably the thing I use the most on this build, because if we talk about play style of this build right before we fully get into it, I've got 94 driving dunk, I've got 85 layup, but let's say we put that down to 80, or even we just go with default small. How I'm gonna use that is gonna be with floaters. That's mainly how I'm gonna use it, because if I'm getting to the rim, I'm not really going for a layup, I'm going for a meter, or I'm just going for a dunk in general, right? If I'm in the mid-range, yes, I do have 90 mid-range, but for me, I actually put mid-range higher on this build, more so to help me at the 3. So on this build and my play style, I'm more so either finishing at the rim with a dunk, whether it's a back door or, you know, breaking off my defender and getting to the rim, or I'm finishing it with a 3 because my defender's overcompensating because I've been attacking the rim, and then I'm stepping back or I'm staying back and he's collapsing in, and then I'm shooting at the 3. I actually don't attack the mid-range very much on my builds that have dunk, because I just am pretty effective and good with dunk itself. So I'm usually trying to get dunked right off the rip in the beginning of the game, especially meters, because they're very loud. They get people's attention. And when your first play of the game gets, you know, your first play of the game could be a layup, and people aren't going to be like, oh, I need to stay off this guy and protect the rim. But if your first play of the game is a big meter, you know, with a big cockback or something like that, it's very loud, it's very visual, and people see it, and then they almost immediately tend to play off of you. And then at that point, now I'm working with the 3. And if I'm going in the mid-range, I personally am going more for a floater, not necessarily a midi. Obviously you can hit midis, and I love the mid-range game, and if depending on the defender, you know, because it definitely depends on the game itself and who you've got against you, you know, I'll take what I can get, and I'm gonna be effective at the mid-range if I need to be. But a majority of the time for me in my play style and in my experience in playing, I'm really utilizing the dunk or I'm shooting the 3s. So that to say, we've got this play style, right? Like if I go with the layup, I'm probably gonna not invest in it at all and just let it use the default small package because I actually like the floaters on there, and I'm really not gonna use them too much. I'm just gonna use them when I need to, which isn't that often. Or if anything, I'll go to 80 for the Jimmy Butler, because even though you're on a small guard, you can still run the Jimmy Butler layup package. So I'm gonna run the Jimmy Butler because his floaters are insane. Best ones in the game, honestly. There's no bad animation in Jimmy Butler's package, and I don't think, at least, you know, Devin Booker has some bad animations, but all his other ones are super glitchy. LeBron has some super glitchy ones, but some really bad ones. Jimmy's like level, like they're just good. And then other than that, we've got the 86-3, which is plenty, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But again, if we're just talking about play style, maybe kind of got off on a rant there, but that's how I'm gonna play on this build. So now you guys know that's me, my play style. But like I say, this is just a template, and you guys need to adjust it in a way that it works best for you, because the meta is always going to be what works best for you. It doesn't matter what the meta is. Like for instance, if you don't use post control, there's no reason for you to invest into post control. If you've never done a post fade and you never plan to, and it's not your play style and you don't want to, there's no reason for you to invest into post control. Don't invest into that, put those points elsewhere. I would say use this as a template, make it work for you. So 85 driving layup, obviously very effective, but like I said, that's like I just explained to you guys, my play style. I'm really not utilizing it that much. And honestly, when I do try to utilize it, I'm typically getting a dunk animation anyways, just because my dunk is so high and so dominant on the build just in general. So 85 driving layup and Trae Young package is very good. My Kyrie build that you guys already saw, I was running 85 driving layup with the Trae Young package, and it's amazing, I love it. But on a build that has high dunk, I would just let the driving layup level at where it goes just naturally, which is probably around 74. And then I would put those points elsewhere, whether it's into standing dunk, which we'll talk about that and why here in a minute, or, you know, more free throw, or maybe you get more pass accuracy out of that, because when you're putting your layup up, you also got to match your strength with it, right? So in order to get the silver fearless finisher at 85 driving layup, I've got to get my strength up to 60. So if I'm not investing into layup up to 80 or 85, then I also don't need to invest into my strength. So now I'm saving points not just in layup but also in strength, and now you're getting this points. You can probably put them elsewhere and make this build very different. Maybe you even get Kyrie Irving dribble style, I'm not sure, but definitely an option. Okay, moving on to dunk, and I think I changed up how we're filming this just a little bit again and learning kind of as we go with this new format, but check it out. We've got 94 driving dunk, right? Now with the 94 driving dunk on a small guard, pair that immediately off the rip with 85 vertical. These are like non-negotiables, what we call them in the Builder Secrets videos. You've got to have that 85 vertical with this 94 driving dunk on the small guards, because that is what is going to get you the elite small and the small contact dunks, and those are what we want. Now that being said, I've had multiple 6'6 builds and 6'7 builds with the 94 driving dunk and 82 vert, or like that meta combo, you know? The 94 85 on the small guards, I have felt like has been the best. And I've also had a small guard which is 90 driving dunk, and I think it had 82 vert or 80 vert or something, but that one wasn't that great. To be honest, I deleted that build and we never saw a video on it, but I did have that for a little bit as well. This 94 85 combo on the small guards is the best dunk I personally have ever experienced. Like, I'm getting the most contacts and posters, like watch your head, like nuts on their head posters, that I have on any build. And this is a 6'2 small guard. This is the smallest guard that I've ever made, actually, and I'm getting the best contacts that I've ever gotten. So maybe that's just in my experience, but these small contact elite small dunks that you get with the 94 85 have been great for me, and I've been getting a lot of contacts with this. And that's even with, like, that's not with Kyrie dribble style, right? We've only got the 75 speed with ball, we've only got the 73 excel, so we've only got the silver blow by. Like, I'm not crazy fast on this build or anything. Like, I mean, you are, and you can be with that. It's obviously enough as I'm showing you guys clips now, but like, we don't have the Kyrie, and I'm getting these great contacts and posters with this 94 85. So if you're gonna go ahead and make this, I say, you know, make it work for you, but I would say non-negotiable. If you're going to make like a small guard that has dunking, give it the 94-85 combo. It's been the best dunking experience that I've had at all this year, so far this year, and it's been very fun, even on the small guard, which I didn't expect. So very, very fun. The 94 driving dunk, it kind of explains itself. I'm showing you guys clips now of plenty of dunks and contacts and all that. I'm going to continue to also, but it kind of just speaks for itself. I'll go ahead and throw up the dunk packages that I'm using on this build just so you guys can see them. I'll do a little scroll through and you guys can, you know, look through that. So I'm gonna go ahead and run through these real quick. I'm literally just gonna hover over them and show you. I'm not really gonna talk about them. I've done that in some other videos. You guys can check them out if you want, but I'm just gonna hover over these. On this Donovan Mitchell build, these are the packages that I am using currently with the 94 driving dunk and the 85 vertical. Reverses, I'm just using the windmill baseline reverse and the clutch baseline reverse. Double clutch, I've got side clutches off too. Pause, stop me, look at these, apply them however, but I'm just gonna fly through it. For the contact dunks, now these are the ones that I'm saying I feel like are just so good. The elite contact dunks off of 2 and the small contact dunks off of 2. So the small contacts take a 86 driving dunk and an 85 vertical, and the elite to only take the 82 vertical, but these small contact dunks, the small ones, these are the ones I'm getting these crazy animations on. I've never had the small contact dunks on a build before, and now I'm getting the most posters and most nuts on your head that I've ever gotten. So watch it hit. These are the ones that I run. These smalls are great. If you're going to invest into it, get these smalls. They're great. And you only need the 86 driving dunk, which is actually really cool, and an 85 vertical. So you don't even have to go up to the 94. So that's actually really dope. You just got to make sure you get that 85 vertical. 1 foot moving dunks, I only have athletic hangs off of 1. Now this is a great package that you can get with a driving dunk of 65. Like it says, in a vertical of 45. So if you're making a build, just any build, 65 driving dunk and getting these athletic hangs off of 1 specifically are a great package and make you super effective. And it's a really fast. It's a really fast animation and package. So really good package there. I run it on all my builds, no matter how high their dunk is. Quick drops off of 1. We're running small contact dunks off of 1. I'm running them off of 1 and off of 2. Usually off of 1, I believe, is quicker, but I don't care. I want both of them, so we're running both of those. We've got the 2-hander under. Oh, I didn't equip my other one, so I need to equip that. But this is just for the standing dunks. Now, if you go to 40 standing dunk, you get the 2-hand under the basket. If you go to 45, you get both of these packages. It's super cheap. Just go ahead and get both of them because why not? It's super cheap. Moving on from that, these are the signature dunks that I choose to run. Now, I actually don't like running Michael Jordan because he always does that cradle dunk that he did right there. You probably can't see it because my camera's blocking it, but I hate the cradle dunk animation. It is so anticlimactic and cheesy, and I just hate it. And it pops up so much. It's so dominant that like almost no matter where I'm coming from, like that dunk is popping up all the time, and I just hate it. So I'm taking that Michael Jordan off, but that's just because I hate it. The Michael Jordan dunk package is very good. Now, I also was running Dr. Disrespect, and I'm pretty sure one of the alley contacts that you saw was a Dr. Disrespect. Or putbacks, I mean, I feel like was a Dr. Disrespect. Or maybe not, but I definitely have a contact Dr. Disrespect dunk, and it was hilarious. But Anthony Edwards, Tracy McGrady, Russell Westbrook, Ginobili, great package. Ja Morant, obviously one of the best dunkers in the league, and he's a small guard. He's like 6'1", so there's that. And CJ McCollum, which I also run a majority of my builds, as long as I have dunk, because it only takes the 40 driving dunk, and it's a very good package. So if you've got low driving dunk, like 40 to 55, McCollum and Ginobili and Klay Thompson are going to be your packages that you want to go for. And other than that, we've just got alley-oops. So I'm running elites, I'm running elite contacts, and I'm running small contacts, of course. Every small package that I can put on, I'm putting it on. I swear these are the reason that I'm getting the crazy dunks that we're getting. The 94 driving dunk has been very fun on this small guard, which I wasn't sure about because the only other small guard I had that had dunk had a 90 driving dunk. So I obviously already didn't have the 94. Plus, I think I only had the 80 or 82 vert. So I was getting pulled out of animations a lot. On this one, 6'2" with the 94, 85, I'm very rarely getting pulled out of animations. And to be honest, that is where the 85 driving layup does shine a little bit. When I do get pulled out of those animations, I am getting some ridiculous roll-ins or, you know, like layups out of being pulled out of those, but it's still not ideal, and I'm still just gonna draw the foul anyways, and we've got the high free throw, so I would still not invest into the layup that high. But it is funny just seeing sometimes when I do get pulled out of that animation, getting a ridiculous finger roll or, you know, acrobat and getting that lay. But 94 driving dunk on this build has been very, very fun, which again, I didn't expect on these small guards. So the 94-85 is great, and I'm showing you guys clips just to give you that proof, but I've been getting ridiculous posters, contacts, and all that, and it's been very, very fun. This is one of my favorite builds that we've made so far. So moving on from that, we've got 45 standing dunk. Now, you only have to go to 40 to unlock the one standing dunk package, but if you go to 45, you unlock 2 of them. And other than that, you kind of want to go up to 75 or higher. Now, definitely put standing dunk on, and honestly, it's very, very cheap. So just go ahead and go to the 45, because I don't have this issue with the 45 standing dunk, and I don't think you'd really have it at 40 either, but it's 40 to 45. Again, just get the 45, but it's the worst when you make a build that has high driving dunk and you have no standing dunk, and you cut for that back door and you get a late pass or just a bad pass, so you stop and you can't rise up because you have no standing dunk. So you have all this dunk and you're like expecting to finish at the rim, but then you're getting there and you're just standing there and you're on a 6'2", 6'3" guard, and then you're going for a horrible layup because it was a late pass or a bad pass or whatever it is. Just go ahead and invest into that standing dunk. I've made builds before with the driving dunk and with no standing dunk, and like, yes, majority of the time I'm fine and I'm not going for standing dunks anyways. But if you're going for that back door and you get caught under the rim on a standstill, and it's like in whatever scenario, it's just annoying. Especially if you've been getting contacts and meters all game, and then you just go down there and you get stuck and then just smothered. Like, it's just the worst. So go ahead and invest into that standing dunk. 40 is all you need to go to. I would still go to 45. But if you're gonna save on that layup and that strength like we talked about, if you choose to put that elsewhere, you know, like standing dunk, you can put that standing dunk up to 75. And I have 6'6" guards that just have 36 driving dunk with a 75 standing dunk, and I'm very, very effective. I've got videos on it. It's in builder secrets for the guards and everything as well, but I'm very, very effective with that. And 75, 76 standing dunk is just a very, very good threshold, and you get really good backdoor dunks. So you can be very, very effective with it. So I mean, if you've got high driving dunk and high standing dunk, obviously that's a good thing. It's only gonna be a good thing. It's not gonna be a bad thing. So, you know, if you've got those extra points because you didn't invest into the layup or whatever it is, maybe put them in a standing dunk. I think that's a good place to put it, but obviously you can put it anywhere you want. So moving on to post control. Now, post control again is just super, super cheap. So for me, I like have everything where I want in the build, and then I just go ahead and throw things elsewhere. I knew I wanted post control in this build just because, one, we were making a Donovan Mitchell build, and then two, I put it up to 75 rather than 65. That way I could get the gold post fade phenom, just because I'm smaller and I figured I'd be getting contested more, obviously, just because I'm 6'2". So I just wanted to get that extra little boost, you know, and get that gold post fade phenom. But for me, honestly, I'm only using post fade phenom when I invest into post control. That's the only badge I'm actually ever using, no matter what build it is. That's the only bag I have, is back you down and go for a post fade or pass it. Straight up, that's my post control bag. So I went to 75 on this one just to go ahead and get that gold. And now I don't even have a clip of a post fade to show for you guys. I'm literally not even utilizing it or using it. I don't think I've used it once on this build. And I didn't grind this build all the way to 97. I put a grinder on this build and they grinded it, and then I just used it at its max capacity to make this content for you guys. But that being said, I still have a lot of clips and a lot of gameplay, and I didn't even utilize post control or a post fade, not once. But it's super cheap, and I had all the points everywhere where I wanted anyways. So I just went ahead and invested into it because it's cheap, and it is still a free bucket. Now, you don't need post control to be effective in the post. Badges help. That just, like, period. Obviously badges help, but like if I randomly go for a post fade and I don't have post control, I can still hit it, just because if you operate correctly on a post fade or in the post, or even just with slashing, like the way I play is like, I'm usually not going for a shot unless I'm open. I'm not a very aggressive or crazy shooter or anything like that. So like if I'm in the post and I'm going for a post fade, I've created space, and I usually do post hop shots. Is usually the only one I use. Maybe a shimmy fade, but it's usually a post hop shot. So at that point, you're stunning the defender and you're jumping out, and you're literally just taking an open shot. So even if you didn't have post control, you'd still hit it. And even at 65 post control, I'd absolutely, like, silver is fine. But again, I just figured, hey, we're making a Donovan Mitchell build, so I'll make it a little accurate. And then on top of that, just we're smaller. I wasn't really sure how it was gonna play, so I went ahead and just put it up to 75 and got the gold, because I didn't really have anywhere else I wanted to put the points anyways. So that's where we put them. But again, if you don't use post control at all, then just don't invest into post control. Make this build work for you. We've already said that. Let's get into the mid-range. Now with 90 mid-range on this build, like I said, I already told you guys my playstyle, right? I already told you guys that I'm not really utilizing the mid-range in terms of a jumper or anything like that, because I'm more so just gonna go for a dunk. Like if I'm getting into the paint or like past the perimeter and I'm getting, you know, inside the 3-point line, it's because I'm hunting for a dunk. Now that's just my play style on this build. If I didn't have dunk on this build and I had the 90 mid-range, my mindset would be to break them off and go for a fader at the elbow or a fader, you know, towards the baseline. But when I'm on a build that has 94 driving dunk, my main initial thought is I'm looking for a dunk. And at the point that I see that the paint is open or I've broken off my defender like you guys are seeing here or whatever, I'm going for a dunk. I'm not going for a pull-up jumper. And then if someone collapses or goes in, I personally am probably just gonna go for the floater or I'm gonna pass out. So I don't really hunt for the middies that much on a build like this, like my builds that have super high driving dunk, but I do still love mid-range and it's cheaper than the 3-ball, but also I mainly invested into the mid-range so that I could get better badges to help me with my 3-point shooting. So I believe at the 90, you're getting like the Hall of Fame open looks and things like that. You're getting a lot of shooting badges gold. And the good thing about shooting badges is like, even though this is mid-range that we're investing into, we're getting shooting badges just across the board, and shooting badges help with any shot. Like open looks is gonna help you with any shot, whether it's a fader, whether it's a catch and shoot, whether it's on the 3, whether it's in the mid-range, it doesn't matter. So we're just investing into mid-range mainly on this build, at least I did, so that I could get better badges for my 3 shooting, because I only had an 86 3-ball. Now, not only 86 3-ball shreds, and you can shred with it, and I'm gonna show you guys content of shredding with it, and 86 3-ball is great, but Donovan Mitchell, with how he was playing in the playoffs, and that's when I made this build. I just am late to putting up the video, so my bad, but he was pulling stuff from so deep, and he was just running up, and like, he was shooting like he had a 92, 94 3-ball in the playoffs. Like he was doing ridiculous shots. So because I had the dunk so high and other things, but I still needed to get defense, I just couldn't get that 3-ball that high, and Donovan Mitchell has a mid-range game. So again, I made this build to be Donovan Mitchell. If I was making the build to be the best build for me, I would make it very differently. But because of YouTube and because of content and because of players and building a build to match that player, you make it a certain way. So I invested in that 90 mid-range, one to match him, but also just to help me with that 3-ball. Again though, in the playoffs, he was hitting these crazy shots, so I just wanted to have as much help on that 3-ball as I could. 86 is great. You're getting limitless range bronze. You're getting Agent 3 silver, I believe. So 86 is a great threshold for a 3-ball. Like very, very good. You can pull deep from the hash. You can pull very deep. I'm showing you guys clips, I'm sure. But either way, that's why I invested into the mid-range up to the 90. If you want to save points there, you could even put the mid-range to 86 or to 88, just that way you get some good gold shooting badges, and then you can maybe put that 3-ball higher. You could go with the 92, 77. A lot of people do 92 3-ball with the 77 mid-range, and that would probably make a lot more sense for me on this build, just because I'd be shooting, like I said, my play style, right? I'm shooting more 3s, and if I'm not really looking for the mid-range, I'm looking for a dunk. If I had a 77 mid-range with a 92 or 94 3-ball, 77 mid-range, you can still hit the fader. And again, if you're going for that shot correctly, so to speak, you're just taking an open shot. So all you're worrying about is timing. So 77 mid-range is plenty, and then you're working with a much higher 3-ball. And something I realized on that Kyrie build, having that 94 3-ball is insane. Like having high 3-ball in this game absolutely makes a difference. And I didn't think it did when I had used 76, 78, 86, and 92. I was like, yeah, I can shoot from deeper with 92, obviously, but like I know with the 78 3-ball with take, I can still also shoot from the hash, and I don't shoot that many 3s anyway, so whatever. But when I got a 94 3-ball, I was like, oh, this like I can shoot whenever I want. Like I can be aggressive, like and that's just me. That's like, I'm not the best 3-point shooter in the game, so that's just my experience. But either way, you could change this build a lot in terms of that. Go for that 92, 94 3-ball, lower mid-range, or however you want, or just go for even higher mid-range and maybe just a 76, 78 3-ball, depending on your play style, you know? So totally up to you, but this is what I went with, and this is why. Other than that, we've got free throw. Free throws are not free in this game, and we talk about it all the time. So 93 free throw, get your free throws, and especially just with like driving dunk so high, right? Like in the way that I play, at least, I'm driving in. So if I get pulled out of that meter and I'm drawing the foul, or even if if I just know I'm smothered, but maybe I got the ball in a last ditch situation, I just have to go up with it, whatever it is, I'm just gonna try and draw that foul. And I'm on a smaller guard, so I'm probably gonna pull it as well. Plus we've got like gold whistle, I believe. So having that high free throw is gonna be very, very beneficial. And other than that, just don't be the guy who's missing his free throws. Free throws like the cheapest thing that you can get. And it honestly is so satisfying just going to the line and knowing you're gonna hit your shots, or when there's like, even if you're having like a dry game, I'll have a game that like I'm not really scoring, but I typically have the highest free throw on the team because I'll have like 90 plus or 99. And if it's a game I'm not really scoring in very much, I get to the line and I get to shoot something and kind of like at least get some type of action, because when you're playing with randoms, sometimes you just might not get the ball at all. So at the very least, if they're selling on me or whatever it is, I end up at the free throw line just because, you know, there's a foul or they're in the bonus or whatever it is. So either way, 93 free throws aren't free. Invest into your free throws. 71 is going to get you the bronze 3 points. 80 is going to get you silver. 90 is going to get you gold. 99 is going to get you Hall of Fame. 77 pass act. 77 pass act is more than enough. I've showed you guys this a ton, and you guys saw in my SIGS, I'm running the Sabonis package, which you can use at 77. Maybe you have to be like a certain rep, but I don't think so. But either way, 77 pass is more than enough. If you don't think that or believe that, maybe you're new here, you haven't seen any of our videos, but we talk about it a lot here, and a lot of people are like running 77 pass act at the one. I can still get like double doubles. I'm still getting anywhere from like, you know, 10 or more assists regularly, like full courts. I'm showing you clips. I don't even have to like explain myself. These clips, I'm showing you these clips. Full court passes, full court dots. Yes, sometimes you'll get a knuckleball. Sometimes you'll get a milk dud. But honestly, if we're being totally honest, people will have like gold break starter and like 87 or 91 pass, and they're still catching a rebound and just throwing the ball out of bounds. If we're gonna be completely honest. Now, high pass is great and it's totally worth it, and I love my builds that do have high pass, especially when I have bailout. But on this build, and just how we made it, we've got 77, but 77 is enough. So there's really not much explaining to do on it. 77 is more than plenty. I wouldn't go lower than 77 personally. Now, I used to say I'll never go lower than 86 or 87, like bronze bailout you need as a proper point guard in a comp setting, which I don't play in. I'm in the rec with randoms who are gonna sell on me and hate me anyways and play buddy ball anyways or whatever it is. So even if you go into squad recs with a homie, like the other people are gonna sell on you, so whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the 77 passing and go ahead and invest elsewhere so that I can just be a better point guard in the sense of a scorer. And I know that me and my capabilities, at least with 77 passing, I can still go get a double-double, I can still go get a triple-double, I can still go get 10, 15 assists, whatever it is, and I can still make the right pass, the right plays, and all of that. So 77 passing, more than enough. Showed you guys plenty of clips, I'm sure. But if you want more details on anything that we talk about at all, and you're new here, again, builder secrets videos, I've got a series on them. I've got builder secrets on specific builds, and then I've got a builder secret video just in general that just gives you kind of secrets, so to speak, to the builder, in the sense of like, basically I'm giving you thresholds and saying like, hey, here's what you can get away with, here's what you can't get away with, here's what you get out of this, and here's why it's good, and blah, 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 and whatever. So if you guys need any more info or want any more in-depth info, you guys can go check those out. 86 ball handle, again, more than enough. We're getting everything we need, and everything that you guys have been seeing obviously is on this build, right? So if I've showed you guys some dunks, you know, and I showed you breaking off some people, that's with 86 ball handle and 75 speed with ball, 85 speed and 73 excel. So just apply those. I'm gonna show you guys more clips, but just think about that as well. Even the clips you guys have seen where I've been, you know, getting around people, getting blow by, getting past them, whatever it is, it's all with what you're seeing right here. So 86 ball handle, more than enough, and a very, very good threshold. Pretty much other than this, people might go to 91, that way that they can get the gold handles for days, I believe. But 92 is typically where a lot of people go. And then at that point, you can go 92 ball handle with a 75 speed with ball, or you could go 92, 90 to get the Kyrie dribble style. In terms of excel, you can go and try and get the gold speed booster, gold blow by, and things like that, which are great badges, but you don't need them. You absolutely can get away with this. And again, as you guys are seeing in these clips that I'm showing you and have showed you, that's all with this. So that's all with silver blow by, 75 speed with ball, 86 ball handle, all of that. So more than enough. Plenty. You get good badges, and you get the Kemba Walker escape moves and Jamal Murray behind the back at 86, so you're good to go. You basically have every meta move that everyone's using, other than on a small guard. You're not going to get like some of the Steph Curry hop jumper or things like that, which that is very, very good. But again, on this build, at least for me, I'm not hunting in the mid-range and looking for that hop jumper per se, and it's not that big of a deal because there's plenty of other hop jumpers that are very, very good. So 75 speed with ball is absolutely plenty as well. I can even show you guys like what badges we have on here, right? So like with that 86 ball, like 85 ball handle, you're still getting gold ankle breaker, right? And not that ankle breakers trigger so much, but like I'm just saying, like you're still getting good badges with this. Blow by, we're getting it silver, which is more than enough, as you've seen. Agent 3, we're getting it silver on this build as well. Speed booster, we're getting it silver. Hyperdrive, we're getting it silver. Spot Finder, we're getting silver. And Space Creator, we're getting gold. Now, these are all great badges, and that's just all with the thresholds that you're seeing here in the attributes. So the 86 ball handle, the 75 speed of the ball, more than enough. You're seeing how effective and efficient I can be on this build, attacking the rim and all of that. So yes, having the gold blow by and all that is fun, is great, but you just got to think about what are you willing to sacrifice. One, we're making Donovan Mitchell. He's not Kyrie, right? He's not moving that fast. His handles aren't that crazy. His speed of the ball isn't like Kyrie. So this fits him. This makes sense for Donovan Mitchell. And then with the game's capabilities, honestly, it might even be a little bit quicker than what you would expect Donovan Mitchell to like be like in real life, just because in the game, just the mechanics work differently. A lot of people think, you know, well, if you have 86 ball handle, you're slow, but you need the 92 and you need Kyrie. It's like, no, if you know how to trigger your speed boost, if you know how to handle the ball correctly, and you know how to utilize badges and trigger badges so that they work in your favor and like play your opponent accordingly, then no, like you can totally be just fine, and you can be faster than what most people would think with the 86, 75 or 73 Excel. So moving on from that, we have defense. Now I'm showing you guys clips here, and I've been preaching 76 perimeter defense, at least for myself, right? Like 76 perimeter is enough for me. You're gonna get all your badges bronze, and you're gonna get off ball pest silver. That is more than enough. You've got to up your strength a little bit. That way you can get the clamps bronze as well. I think it's 55, but 76 perimeter defense is absolutely more than enough. And 36 steal on these small guards, even and I thought it was only going to be with my Kyrie build just because he's so fast. But even on this Donovan one, I've got a clip of even getting a full interceptor in the lane. And when I did that interceptor one that I'm probably showing you guys right now, I actually didn't have a steal invested into at all yet. So, I mean, if you time things correctly, you can get a steal. Like, am I getting, you know, like 3-5 steals a game? No. There are random games where, you know, you get real bumpy and you just get, you know, 3, 5, even 6. I have it on my Kyrie build video. I only had 36 steal, and I had a game that I had like 6 steals. But absolutely, I can average like 1 steal a game, and that's pretty much what I go for. Like when I go into a game, I'm like, okay, well, Donovan Mitchell was averaging also like 1.4, like 2 steals a game, I think, in the playoffs or something like that. So absolutely, with no steal or 36 steal, whatever. I'm not saying if you get 36 steal, it's gonna get you the steal, by the way. This is just what I put it up to. But with no steal at all, you could go average a steal a game, or 3. If you just get bumpy and you make it a goal to do that. Don't go spam and be that guy who's like drawing fouls, because you're going to get really bad animations and get pulled out of things. But in order to get steals in this game, you don't even have to trigger steal. You don't even have to hit X or use a steal badge. If you play the angle right and you cut someone off, you're just going to get a bump steal. So you can absolutely average 1 a game, and that's, like I said, that's what I go for. I run the 76 perimeter and 36 steal. I just put it there because I put it there. We didn't really have anywhere else to put the points, and I wanted it just to test it, because on my Kyrie build I have it and I feel like it's really, really good. So I went ahead and just put it on this one too. But 76 perimeter is more than enough, and like I showed you guys, or I'm showing you, or have been showing you, I'm locking people down. Now that's also going to come down to stick skill and just your skill at the game. A really good threshold is 85 steal. Now or not 85 steal, 85 perimeter. And I've said this before, but I used to run like super high perimeter, like 94, 95, and then like 91, and then like 90, and then I went to 85. And I was running 85 perimeter, 85 steal for a while. Now I still have builds that have that, right? I've got 10 builds, and I'm always making builds. So I have builds that fill each like style of play, so to speak. I'm like, oh, I just really want to go score today. I'm gonna hop on something like this. I'm like, you know what? I really feel like being a 2-way. I'll get on my 3-and-D perimeter, you know, or whatever. I've got a playmaking glass. Like, you guys have seen all the builds. They're all on the channel. I don't have any builds that you guys don't know of or haven't seen. So I've got different builds, you know, for different ways I'm feeling and whatnot. So on this build, I'm not even really going out there to play crazy defense, but I'm not a liability on defense by any means. And that might just be me again. Like, I know I'm good and I'm capable at 76 perimeter of holding, you know, my guy. Now, if it's someone who's really, really good and I get cooked, and then I get cooked, you're not like, I'm not the best player at this game, and I don't win every game, and I'm not going to stop everyone that I try to defend. Obviously, if I had higher defense, it would help me more, but like, again, that's just this build and this build's play style. And if I change my mood and I'm like, you know what, I don't feel like getting cooked on defense today, I'll just go get on a different build. So 76 perimeter, more than enough. I'm holding people down. And again, defense is really good. And I want to talk to you guys about this. Off-ball pest is a very, very good badge. And just even outside of that badge, if you are just literally an off-ball pest, a lot of the times you can hold your guy to 0 to like under 10 points. Like face guarding people is a thing in here, and it's annoying because when you get in, you're like, okay, this guy's face guarding me. Now a counter to that is utilizing badges like Space Creator and Slippery Off Ball, indexing people and things like that. And now you just got to learn how on the offensive end how to move off ball and get open, right? So when you are getting face guarded, but a lot of people don't do that. Like a lot of people aren't very good off ball movers in my experience, at least. So typically, if you go into a game, even if you have low defense, like the first thing I do at tip-off, like let's say they win tip-off, I blitz the point guard, and I might even hit X to go for a steal and either get a steal or draw a foul. And mainly it's just to start off aggressively and just disrupt whatever flow they have and just play it that way, you know? Like, okay, you know, you think you're gonna cook me or I have low defense, like I'm letting you know I'm here and I'm gonna be aggressive, and I'm not. Like, I don't care that I don't have low defense. I'm confident in it, you know? So that's what I always do. But even then, like off-ball pest is very, very good. And that's like what I'm trying to get at here is like, if you off the rip are aggressive, and then if you just face guard your guy, you can usually hold them to 0 to like under 10 points just by being there. And just because what you're allowing, you're being an off-ball pest, right? But you're making it so that they just can't even get the ball. Like I know when I have guys like that, I'll tell them, I'll be like, dude, this guy's face guarding me. You know, I'll tell my point guard or whoever it is, I'll be like, this guy's face guarding me. Like, I'm not really doing much. Or I'll be like, oh, hey, I can go for a back door or something. But like, you can't even pass it to me right now because this dude's just literally like, I can't move. And that's how I defend people typically. I'm just like locked in. I'm selfish on defense, like to an extent, right? I help when I can help, but I don't overcompensate. But I'm like, okay, I'm in my corner or I'm wherever, I'm on my guy. Like, this is my guy. I'm on them, like, you know, and if someone's coming my way, I'll try and get a pinch or whatever. But for the most part, I'm focused and I'm like, I'm on my dude and I'm face guarding him and I'm not leaving him alone and I'm being a pest. I'm just an off-ball pest. So usually, if you can be enough of a pest to your guy off ball, you don't even have to worry about him cooking you or getting the ball because they're not even looking to pass to him because they're just like, bro, this dude's like face guarding you. This dude won't leave you alone. And maybe they hit him on a couple fast breaks or something like that. Cause I feel like that sometimes. I'm like, yo, I'm running the break. This dude won't leave me alone. Like, let me get a bucket. Let me do something, you know? So I just try to play that way as well, especially when I have low defense. I play that way all the time, but when I have lower defense, I play very aggressive and just very on you because my best badge is off-ball pest. It's silver. And off-ball pest, even bronze, is a very good badge. It just throws people. And it's good too because if I'm clamping my guy with my perimeter, 76, I'm like, let's say I'm clamping my guy, he can't get around me. Well, he throws it and then he tries to get open immediately off ball for like a pass back. Off-ball pest is gonna activate. So like I'm clamping him and locking him, let's say like while he has the ball. And then as soon as he passes the ball out, I'm still pushing him and shoving him and getting bumpy because off-ball pest is now activating. I'm just being annoying. So that's how I play defense. 76 perimeter is more than enough. I'm even getting like 94 feet to trigger at bronze. Like, just be aggressive and give it. Like, I used to say this a lot in my older videos or like when I was first started making videos, which was only a couple months ago, so it's not a long time ago. But I did used to say this more of like, don't let like what your thresholds are like scare you. Like for instance, like a 78 3 ball or a 76 3 ball. If I've got take, and I have a 76 3 ball and I'm like, and I happen to get the ball and I'm like super deep, I'm just gonna shoot it. Depending on the situation. If it's like a very, very close game, I'm gonna play it smart, right? But like, don't be like, oh, I can't shoot it. I only have a 76 3 ball. Bro, pull that thing. You'll be surprised what you can do in this game with lower thresholds. Trust me, like you should test it out and find out because it's ridiculous. So for instance, same with perimeter. Like, yes, I have 76 perimeter. I have lower perimeter. I'm not a lock by any means. I don't have great defense, but I'm not going to allow that to make me be like in my head about like, oh, help me guys. Or like, oh, like, can I get some help? Or this guy's going to cook me or whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm going to play him. I'm going to play him aggressive like I have 94, you know? And if he's absolutely cooking me and I'm with the squad, then we're going to switch. And if we're not with the squad, then everyone's going to freaking hate me and I got to take the L on this one, whatever it is. So 76 perimeter defense, more than enough. 36 steal. We just put it there just because we put it there. But I do think investing into steal into literally just any or some capacity, which is the same we say with block. And I have a whole video on block specifically, but it's still going to help you get a little bit better of animations. Whereas like if you have no steal and you press X, you might go flying 100 yards and completely out of the play for 20 minutes, and you have 36 steal, you might only go like 75 yards and be out of the play for like 15 minutes, you know? So it's not that bad. So 36 steal, I just invested into it because we could. And block, I always invest in. I wish I could have invested into it higher, but I put the points, you know, elsewhere. Rebound was just there by default, I believe, because the vertical, I didn't invest into that. But I think because of how high the vertical and dunk and plus the layup. See, like if we didn't invest into layup, I probably could have put block higher or steal or defense or whatever. But either way, block helps you get contests on the perimeter, like a jump contest, right? So like if a guy cooks you on the perimeter and hits a step back and you jump, right? You press Y because he's going for a shot. If you have block invested into in any capacity, you're going to get better jump animations on the perimeter. You're gonna get better jump contests as a whole. If you're down in the paint and a dude's going for a lay and you press Y, and I'm pretty sure I have clips here to show you guys, and you jump, you're going to get better jumps, block attempts. Like even if you don't have chase down artists. And like chase down artists also doesn't only work with chase downs, but it just helps in blocks in general. So you could be standing and you know, get a jump contest or be under the rim and jump at someone. Like chase down block is gonna help you in all of that, but also block just in general. And like I said, I have a whole video just on block and getting contests on the perimeter. Block is gonna help you get better contests on the perimeter. So every build that I make, no matter what, gets block in some capacity, preferably like 70 or higher. Even like on this build, I don't even think I could get bronze chase down, but I would still invest into my block high. Like even if it doesn't get the, like if it's at 71, you know, and I can't go higher than that or whatever it is, I'm still gonna put it up there if I can, just because it helps you so much just on contests in general. And it's very, very cheap on these little guards. So it's another thing that's just like, I have extra points, I can put it here. And even if I don't have extra points, it's kind of a non-negotiable for me on all my builds at this point, where I'm just like, I'm gonna invest in the block in some capacity, no matter what. Defensive rebound, I said that was just there because it's there. But again, like even with block and with rebounds just in general, we have an 85 vert, which that absolutely helps. So I'm not getting good rebound animations per se, but I do have a high vert. So I am jumping and I am able to grab boards sometimes. I'm not grabbing boards over the centers or anything like that, but like right place, right time, 100%. I mean, Josh Hart is a guard and he's getting like 15 boards a game, right? Like not a game, but there are games he'll have like 15 rebounds. And even in the NBA just in general, like guards get rebounds all the time. So small guards, Terry Rozier gets like 5-6 rebounds and he's like 6'1", 6'2", I think. So either way, we've got a high vertical. So again, just one of those things where it's like, if you're down there, just jump because you've got a high vertical. And even if you didn't, just jump. It's a basketball game. It's the same with like layup. A lot of people like who only have default small or 74 layup or lower, they're like, oh, I can't finish at the rim. It's like, bro, it's a basketball game. If you're taking a wide open take to the rim, you're going to hit a layup. Like, or if you're under the rim and you're like basically the only guy down there and you jump, you're probably gonna grab the rebound. So you have an 85 vertical. I'm not like playing to go for rebounds per se, but if you're down there, again, just one of those things, like don't let it get in your head where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna run the break because I can't grab the board. If you're down there by yourself and no one's there, just try and grab it, you know? So, but we didn't invest into this anyways. It was just there by default, but still just a little something I thought I'd say. 85 speed. Now I like to go 85 speed minimum on my build. Speed is probably the thing that I notice the most in this game. Like if I have a build that has an 80 speed and then a build that has, if I have 83 speed and 85 speed, I feel the difference. Like anything under 85 speed, I feel very clunky and slow on the court. Even this build, initially when I made it, I had an 83 speed before everything was invested into, and I felt slow. And maybe it's placebo, maybe it's like not, but I just felt slow. So for me personally, I go to 85 speed. You don't have to. You could go to like 81 and you could still keep the blow by and the speed booster at silver where we have it, I'm pretty sure. But I like going 85 because speed also helps you on defense and helps you on the perimeter with your lateral movement. So again, like I just like the speed because I like the speed just in general, like across the board. But I think speed, and I've said this before, is probably like the best attribute in the game, so to speak, in the sense of like it helps you in so many places. Like speed's gonna help you on a fast break. Speed's gonna help you defending. Like speed's gonna help you in so many different areas. It's gonna help you on a fast break. It's gonna help you defending. It's gonna help you get back down. Like if you're on a center and like a lot of centers won't invest into speed. Invest into speed because if you're trying to get back down the court, you're going to get back down the court quicker or whatever, right? So speed just in general is a very, very good attribute to have in this game. And it's one that I strongly like believe investing into on like 85 or higher. That's usually my minimum on any build. I have builds with it lower, yes, but I prefer it to be at 85, and I feel a huge difference personally being at 85 and higher. So 85 speed is where I went, and again, it helps you on defense and perimeter and like lateral movement. So I've got the lower 76 perimeter defense. If I had that paired also with slow speed, so now I've got low defense, so my recovery time on things is slower, but now my speed is, I'm also slower. So like I'm overcompensating to catch up on something, and then I'm getting a bad animation, and then I'm, you know, overcompensating and recovering from that. It's just not good. So the speed helps you in a lot of different places, and having this lower perimeter, it's gonna help you a lot more on that lateral movement. But even outside of that, if you don't care about defense at all and you're on an offense heavy point or whatever it is, 85 speed is where I want to go, just because that's where I like it. But again, you don't have to get the silver speed booster and blow by, I don't believe. I think you can go 81. But I like 85. 73 Excel is kind of the minimums. Excel is one of those things, and we talk about it a lot as well. Now you see, right, with my Excel, my speed booster and all that, you've seen in this video, like I'm doing fine at the 73 Excel. I'm doing fine at the 75 speed with ball. If you go look at Koza 2K, if you guys don't follow him, but you probably do, but Koza 2K on YouTube, he's got a build out right now with like no speed with ball, like literally none, and he's fine. Now that's his capabilities. I could never, but at the 75 even, because people will see 75 and they think it's like not enough. Like it is enough. I used to think you had to have higher. I got a little bit better at the game and started learning a little bit more how to activate my badges more and trigger them more. 75 speed with ball and that 73 Excel, the gold speed booster, the gold blow by, and everything else, like absolutely enough, absolutely good. You guys have been seeing it in this video, but the 85 73 is pretty much my threshold in terms of speed and Excel on all of my builds, especially if it's like my ball handling, like a point guard or a shooting guard. That's where I'm gonna be. So 73 Excel, more than enough, plenty, but I wouldn't go below that. But again, some people do, like Koza also has builds with like no Excel, but that's just him and his capabilities. I personally like feeling slow and clunky in the game is the biggest thing for me that I like feel like I can notice and feel. So like I said, with the speed and the Excel, like I'm probably never gonna go below this unless I'm on obviously like a center or something like that, which I never run those. Even the center I did make was a 6'8" like point center. So I'm just not gonna subscribe to that personally. I'm gonna go with the 85 73, and it's absolutely more than enough, as you guys have seen. And you can still get the silver, and like I said, you still get the silver speed booster and blow by, which those are what you want those at. Now, if you're at like the 3 or the 4, you can absolutely run like bronze blow by and bronze speed booster, because you got to think about your opponent and your mismatch. That's why like my 6'8" point center was very, very fun, and it's even funner at the 4 if I get paired up with like a 7-foot big man, because then the 4, like I'm usually significantly faster. So now you're playing the mismatch, and that's what I've said has always been like the funnest thing in this game is playing the mismatch, which is why being on these small guards is new for me, because I usually like being on a 6'6" point guard, like a 2-way, and playing that mismatch and getting a small guard and being able to bully him and bump him around. But these small guards are also still very, very fun, and like you can get away from that bullying and whatnot if you like, again, know how to trigger your badges and create separation and all of that. But the mismatch is definitely the funnest and maybe even the easiest way to play this game. Like if you get the mismatch, because you literally just have a mismatch, and there's a reason people go for the mismatches in NBA too. Like they try to set the screens and get the mismatch and get the smaller guy on the bigger guy so he can back him down and get the post fade or take it to the rim or just pull a shot over him. Like playing the mismatch is great, and they do it in real life too. So like playing the mismatch is always fun. So on my point center, it's like really fun to be at the 4 or whatever. Even my play glass is really fun to be at the 4 or even the 5, because then I'm getting 7-footers who are super, super slow, and I'm on a 6'7". Yes, I'm undersized, but I know how to play undersized, and offensively speaking, like I'm just cooking them, I'm burning them, you know. So it's just like a game of catch up if you're playing them right. So I love the mismatch in this game. It's very, very fun. So either way, just a little rant there about like speed and Excel and like even how I like to run it, but that's where I'm at. 60 strength. Now we're at 60 strength for the 85 driving layup. I believe if you go with the 76 perimeter, in order to get the clamps, you only need to go to 55 strength, but we're at 60 with the 85 driving layup to get the silver fearless finisher. Now, if you do choose to invest into layup on this build, I always recommend invest into your strength, whatever it like takes, right? So like at 87 driving layup, you can get gold fearless finisher, and I think you have to have 65 strength. And so a lot of people will like invest into layup, but they don't invest into strength. I believe in fearless finisher and think it's like, I just feel like if you're investing into layup, it'd be like investing into driving dunk and not investing into your vertical. Like, I feel like if you're investing into driving layup, you have to invest into your strength. Now, also, the game is the game, and even without fearless finisher, you can absolutely finish. So there's that too. But like, I just feel like if you're going to try and be highly effective, you know, with layups or with dunk, I think you should invest into their counterparts, which are going to be strength and vertical. So right now we're at 60 strength because we have the 85 driving layup. But like I told you guys, I probably wouldn't invest into this layup on this build. I would just let it go to wherever it's at default, which means I think your strength can come down to 55. And it only has to go to 55 so that you can get the bronze clamp. So if you aren't investing into defense, and I guess you don't even have to do that, but please invest into defense. Other than that, we've got the 85 vertical. Now I've told you guys that already. The 85 vertical is just to match with the driving dunk. At 85 vertical, you're going to get those elite small and those contact small, or the small contact dunks and all of that. And those are amazing. Like I said, on this build, I feel like, I absolutely have gotten the best dunk animations, the most posters, the most nuts on their head animations and dunks that I've gotten on any build. And I've had 6.6s with 94 driving dunk. I've had a 6.7 with it, and I have a 6.8 with 75 driving dunk. So that it's not really the same, but like, this is the best dunk build that I've ever had, which I didn't expect on a 6.2, but I think these small contact and these elite smalls are the best packages in the game because I'm getting the most contacts, and like, I've repeated it enough. Like, it's just the best. So invest into that 85 vertical with the 94 driving dunk on a small guard. That way you can get the small contact and whatnot. But if you're like on a 6.6, I think you only need to go to the 94 82 vertical. So just double check that. Go on to 2K Labs, double triple check everything before you fully, you know, invest into it and spend your money and whatnot. But on a small guard, absolutely, if you're going to that 94 driving dunk, get that 85 vertical because it is so much fun. And to close it out, we are at 99 stamina. No specific reason other than we are not going to slack or not invest into stamina. That's something that I have always said. Like, I'm not going to not invest into my stamina to max capacity. It's probably one of those things for me that would be in my head. Like, if I went to 95 stamina and I'm not even like crazy dribbling or anything like that, I feel like I would feel a difference. So it's speed and stamina and things like that, I just don't mess with them. So 99 stamina is where I'm gonna be, is where we're going. And that's just because we're never gonna not invest into that. So 99 stamina is where we're gonna go. And that is the build, guys. Again, we just have a 3-level threat. I always make 3-level threats. I'm not even here to try and make different crazy names. Like, it's not our fault that this 2K gives good builds the name 3-level threat, or two-way playmaking 3-level threat, or any other variation of a 3-level threat. Who cares what the name of the build is? Whatever you're capable on that build is what's going to make that build dope or not. I've got homies running ball hawks and they shred, and they're green pulling from deep and like all types of stuff. So like, it doesn't matter the name of the build. Misleading names are fun. I do enjoy that. But 3-level threat is what we got, and that's typically what I'm always making. So I've tried to make different stuff, you know, and like be like unique with a name or whatever, just for the sake of like content or showing you guys something. But 3-level threat's what we're making, and it's really what this 2K is going to give you pretty much. Most of the time you try to make a build that just knows how to play basketball. So 3-level threat is what we've got. 6'2", 220 pounds with a 6'11" wingspan. This is my Donovan Mitchell build. Let me know what you guys thought about this format, about this style. I hope it turned out well. I don't even know right now. I'm talking and like, I'm not even actually looking at anything or talking over anything. I'm just like talking to you guys. Like, it was a new experience, but I think on the back end, once I edit it, it's gonna turn out better. And I think you guys are gonna be able to see a lot more gameplay and a lot more utilization of the build itself and just my playstyle in general. I tried in one of the recent videos of just throwing a video of actual gameplay on the back end, but it just seemed stale and stagnant to me when I watch it, just because it was just not even voiceover, it was just music over an entire game. And it's just not very intriguing or anything for me. So this way I get to talk to you guys, still get to see you guys and, you know, interact this way a little bit, but you also get to see even more gameplay than I've ever showed, because I have so many clips that I never get to show you guys. So the less I'm in the actual builder going through it top to bottom, and I can just show you guys what it's doing, which, let's be honest, like, we're on YouTube because it's visual, right? We want to see these dunks, we want to see these 3-pointers, we want to see all these things. So here you go. This is it. You guys saw it. This is it. Let me know what you guys think of the new format. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.